Hey, Suzanne here with Caregiver Haven. So we have some really great questions today, and I'm so glad you guys are asking these questions because this is what worries you, and I won't know how to answer them unless you tell me. So keep sending in your questions. Here's the first one. My dad refuses to wear his ice cleats because he says they make him look old and feeble. Last week, he fell in the driveway getting his mail, and thank God nothing broke, but he still won't wear them. He says if he wears those contraptions, the neighbors might think that he's losing it. Meanwhile, I'm a nervous wreck every time he goes outside in the winter, in the snow, in the ice. How do I get him to prioritize safety over his pride without making him feel like I'm treating him like a child? Well, I'll tell you how, because I hear this constantly. Your dad is reacting perfectly normal. None of us want to wear ice cleats. None of us want a cane or a walker, a wheelchair. We don't want that, right? So nobody wants to admit that they need help or social equipment, as we call it. So it feels like he's giving up his independence. And for your generation of seniors, especially men, there's deep pride here in staying strong and being capable. But here's what's really happening. Your dad isn't being stubborn just to drive you crazy. He is fighting to maintain his identity. His mind says that those ice cleats are a visible announcement to everyone that he's gotten old, that he can't do what he used to do. The neighbors see him wear them, confirms that he's terrified of what or maybe he's declining. How many times have I worked the emergency room where the kid came in without a helmet? Now, what do helmets do? They protect. What do ice cleats do? They protect, okay? But people are, well, I just didn't want to wear it. And there goes the head or the hip in this case, in your dad's case. But here's what I want you to try. First of all, you have got to stop calling these ice cleats, okay, or safety equipment. Those words scream old person gear. Instead, reframe it. The next time you talk to him, you say something like, Dad, you know what the guys on construction crew wear when they're working on ice roofs or when they're outside working? They use these things, traction devices. I'm not used to saying them, obviously, but call them traction devices. Athletes wear them also for winter training, especially when the people in the South, the football teams in the South, have to go up north and play in snow. They wear these traction devices on their feet. They have to. So it's part of making you stronger and more, I guess, confident is what they do. So even young male carriers wear them in every neighborhood because the Postal Service requires them. So why not wear them? I mean, go outside with these traction devices on. That's what they are. I should be wearing them too. So you're giving them a different context. They aren't for old people like crutches or anything like that. Okay. Just change the language. Do not call them ice cleats or whatever. And just say the football players wear them, the postal man wears them. I mean, we all wear them when we wish we'd wear them when we're out. And maybe that will bring your stress down. And when you make it about how his choices affect you rather than criticizing his abilities, you remove that pride barrier. He's not being told he's incapable. He's being asked to help you feel better. So try to turn it around to how you would feel better, okay? The other thing is his brain is going to remember losing balance. His brain is terrified of falling. So thank goodness he didn't. I've been thinking of, say something like, I've been thinking about last week, and I bet you're scared. It scared you maybe more than you said. And it scared me too. What if we just try the traction devices for 1 week? And if you hate them, then we'll figure something else out. You give him an exit ramp here when you do that. Let him face this by agreeing to a trial period. Not forever, because he's going to forget to use them, of course. And they take more time when he could just slip outside. I shouldn't say slip. He could walk outside to his mailbox. But those traction devices might save them. All right. Just like a helmet saves so many people, they don't realize it. All right. And one last thing, check if any of his friends or neighbors use them. If he sees Bob from down the street wearing ice cleats, suddenly they're not so embarrassing anymore. Sometimes peer influence works better than family nagging. It's the same thing with walking sticks. Seniors don't want to use walking sticks, but more and more are using them because they know that burns more calories and it builds muscle in the arms. So we use it for that approach. All right. So it might be a way, if he uses the ice cleats, that he gets his mail faster and he's more confident. So, okay, question number 2. I set up everything perfectly for my mother-in-law. The bench by the door, good. The indoor shoes, good. The mat, everything. I even wrote step-by-step instructions on a laminated card. But every single time I come over, she's walking around the house in her wet, snowy boots, leaving puddles everywhere. Well, we know water is slippery, and that's why you cannot do it. You got to leave the water at the door. That's it. And her indoor shoes are still sitting by the door unused. She's 84 and already fell once this year. I've explained it 100 times, and she just smiles and says, okay, dear, and then does the exact same thing the next day. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, you probably are over this. How do I get her to actually follow the safety plan when she has zero interest in changing her routine? Well, first of all, you set up the safety system. That's all I can say. I know you care. A lot of people wouldn't even have gone to that effort, but you did. But here's what you're up against. You're up against her either remembering to take off her shoes and moving through the house in a way that she's been doing for 60 years, or her muscle memory is so deeply ingrained that she literally doesn't even think about it anymore. It's completely automatic. All right. If you can start, if you have a senior now that doesn't take off their shoes when they get into the house, start a habit now of them taking off their shoes. So every winter you don't have to go through this. Just a simple thing, take off your shoes. I don't want dirt dragged into the carpet. Okay, just say that. But you're not there. Okay, you have now a problem with her. It's winter and she's not taking off her shoes. When she walks in that door, her brain is just going on autopilot. The laminated instructions aren't going to help her. She's not going to read them anyway. She's just coming in and she's still in her boots. This is how the human brain works, especially at her age, at any age. How many times have we told a kid when they leave the room, turn off the light, or don't slam the door, or they left the door open? You know that. It's just, they're not thinking, okay? Instead of instructions that she has to read, create physical barriers that foster or force a new behavior into her. Okay. Put the bench directly in the pathway from the door. So she literally has to move it or sit on it to get past it. Okay. It becomes physically easier to sit down than to walk around it. Take those indoor shoes and put them on the bench, not on the floor. Put them on the bench. And when she sits, they're right there to face her. Can she get her boots off easily? Are her wet boots becoming uncomfortable? Right? And her dry shoes are right there. Maybe she can't bend over to get her boots off. Have you thought of that? All right. Does she need a new pair? Could she slip on slippers instead? Or does she have to lean over and put on a new pair of shoes that she really doesn't like? Make sure her slippers are right there by the door. Now, about those wet boot tracks through the house. There are some things that you're not going to be able to fix. She's not going to get a towel and throw it on the floor and get those puddles up. You're going to stress her too much by getting her to do what's right. All right. Besides, if she puts a towel on the floor, she might forget it's there and she could trip over it. It's nothing worse than a towel on the floor or a throw rug, right? So get her some easy slippers that she can slip right on that are nice and warm for her when she takes her boots off. She's got those for her. All right. And have her put a nice towel there so she could wipe her feet too when she comes in if she doesn't want to wear slippers. she could put those on. Maybe she could wipe the boots off and she can still wear her boots. But those are things that you can do. All right. 84, she might have some arthritis in her hands and stiffness in her back, and her balance isn't all. In that case, a long-handled shoehorn might work, or those slip-on boots with side zippers if she can bend over and reach them. All right. You've got to consider all these things, and it might be a good idea to even get a physical therapist. Ask your doctor to order a physical therapist to come over to the house to put this all together for her, because they'll know exactly what to do so she won't track water through the house and then slip on it later. All right. The last thing, this is important, check in with yourself about how much energy you're spending on this one issue. I know that it matters, and I know that those wet floors are dangerous, but if stressing about it is consuming every visit with you and her, is it really worth it? She's going to fall. Hopefully she won't injure anything. If she does, you know what? We live and we learn sometimes, unfortunately. But get that physical therapist in there and have your doctor order for physical therapy because it's free. Medicare should be able to pay for that. Okay, take care. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.